This week we're going to highlight the latest crop condition updates and crop progress from the USDA. Then we're going to shift gears and look at the latest weather trends for beans as we go through the pod fill stage here in August. Then we're going to look at export sales of beans, both old and new crop. And we're going to wrap things up with a long-term review of November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Bastine with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved into the last half of August here, and of course that means it's time for pod set and pod fill for beans. Let's take a look at the latest crop condition ratings from the USDA. And we saw the crop conditions nationwide stabilize this week for beans, 68% good to excellent. Notice that's exactly the same as it was last year at this time. We saw some improvement across those states west of the Mississippi River. We did see some deterioration, however, as you move east and south. Let's take a look at our aggregate crop condition index here. Notice here in 2025 that we deteriorated a little bit the last 3 weeks, yet over the last 8 years, it's still tied for the highest level in mid-August. So crop condition ratings for beans remain quite high. Let's take a look at crop progress now. Soybean setting pods. On average, U.S. soybean setting pods increased approximately 12% between August 17th and the 31st. Now, quite a bit of the beans now are in the double crop phase as we look at that setting pods here, which will mean the first half of September will be important also. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Let's turn our attention now to weather as we move into the critical pod fill period. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're looking here at a major pattern change as we move into the last half of August. Two cool fronts are going to move through the Midwest this week. The first front is Wednesday through Thursday. It's going to move the highs down from those 90s into the 80s. And then a large cool front's going to come down from the northern plains Friday and Saturday. And actually we're going to see the highs drop into the 70s later this weekend, Sunday and Monday. Now looking further ahead now, not only are we going to be cool, but we're also going to be dry. All across that highlighted blue area, if you will, highs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And also fairly dry. Now let's look ahead to next week. There is some moisture in the forecast for next week. Looking at Sunday through Wednesday, all across that green area there, we're looking at maybe a ½ inch to 1.5 inches, primarily focused across Kansas, parts of southern Nebraska, as well as the Delta. Let's quantify rainfall now over the next 2 weeks. If we look at the next 2 weeks, you can see that across Kansas there, we're looking at some wet conditions. But as we move across the Midwest, it's going to be dry to very dry. So we'll see how that shakes out when we get into harvest in terms of yields, but cool and dry looks like to be the trend near term. Let's shift gears now and focus on export sales here in the U.S. Now what this slide does is look at the unshipped export sales of old crop beans, 24-25, and new crop, 25-26. Notice we're at a very low level here. Now last year at this time we were at low level too, and China came in and bought a lot of beans. But as we've highlighted here, the U.S. shipped 470 million bushels of the 826 total to China for 24-25 during SON, with 250 in September, October, November. Unless a trade deal is signed soon, the September-October volume could be zero this year, as Brazil seems quite capable of making up the shortfall. So that's something the market's going to be watching moving into the new crop year. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November bean futures. On November beans, as we tape here on Tuesday, trading near 10.30 a bushel. Notice between now and harvest there in October, there's still room for price volatility both to the upside and to the downside. That's why it's critical for you to continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement and avoid price prediction. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an update. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.